Hey everyone, Jordan Ray here with another Google Apps scripting video. Today I'm going to talk about an add-on that was suggested last week in the Google EI hashtag talk about add-ons. And it's suggested by Brandy Harichi, though I don't know how to spell that or how to pronounce that. Look her up on Twitter. She suggested being able to insert drawings into slides. And I actually didn't even realize that that wasn't an option. You can insert an image, but even if you go to your drive, you can't find your drawings, only image files. So I thought, okay, quick little project. Let's build in how to insert a drawing um, from right from the add-ons menu of your slide deck. And we'll talk about how you can actually put a file picker um, inside your own projects. How to get that working. All right, let's go. First thing we're going to put into our project is the file open dialog. And here I'm at the documentation for Google Apps Script. And in the dialogues and sidebars at the very bottom, we're going to get step-by-step instructions for how to add a file picker to our project. So I'm going to just follow those instructions pretty much verbatim. So you go to Resources, Cloud Platform Project. We need to choose our project because with every app script project you create, it creates its own little cloud project out in the developers console. So we're going to go ahead, go right on into there. It takes a minute to load everything up, but you need to look for APIs and services. We're going to add the picker service. Again, this is all right there in the documentation. All you got to do is follow along. Um, but sometimes it helps to watch somebody else do it. All right, after a lot of spinning circles there, we've got the cloud platform opened. We're going to click on Enable APIs and Services. We're going to type in Picker. It should find right away. Click on Google Picker API and enable it. Now we need to do, I think it's two other things in here. We need to create credentials. Over on the right side of the screen, you can see create credentials down here. And this will give us a kind of an API key that will allow us to um, access the picker and to and for Google to make sure that we are who we say we are. So we're going to create credentials API key. And it gives us a key right there, but we want to actually restrict this key because this key will actually be exposed out there on the front end of your projects. We actually need to refer to HTTP refers, and in the documentation it gives you two to use: star.google.com and star.googleusercontent.com. And once you've done that, copy this API key. Go ahead and copy that and save it. Now that should be all we need to do in there. We can actually close out of our developer console, close out of the cloud platform project, and we're going to actually go into File, Project Properties, Script Properties, Add Row, and I'm going to call it API Key, API underscore key, and I'm going to paste that value in there. Click on Save, and there you've got all of the business out of the way. So in the documentation, you can scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the code for just putting a basic picker into your project. I'm going to copy that in right now. The code.js I'll save, and then I'm going to create the picker. And let me copy and paste that in. Boom. Now we got to make some changes to this. The first of which is right here. So this is where that developer key is going to go, but we don't want to just copy that developer key in. We want to access it from the properties of our script. So I'm going to go, not script properties, it's properties, I cannot type, properties service dot get script properties dot get property, and then the property is called API key. Wow, I cannot type tonight. I'm sorry. Okay, get property, and that should be all we need to do. Now pay attention to that these are in quotes here, and then I'm using the templating syntax to actually just put some JavaScript code right in line. And this will be rendered when the page gets loaded from the add-on menu. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that there. And then we're going to go back over to code, and we need to actually change create HTML output from file in our show picker to create template from file. And it's going to use that picker.html. Everything else should be the same, except, one other thing I've noticed. The example is for a spreadsheet app. We actually want slides app, because this is going to be slides app. This is going to be on our slides add-on menu. Okay, so we can save that there, and we can go ahead and test this. I'm going to create a presentation in the same directory just to test this with, and we'll call it insert from drawings. Insert from drawings. And I'm not going to give it a theme or anything. It doesn't need that. But we want to open it for testing. So let's go to run test as add-on. This has changed recently in Google Apps Script. So if you're used to it being under publish and then test as add-on, they've moved it over to run. So we need that presentation, insert from drawings, and I want to install and enable. And I didn't save that. It didn't save that whole thing that I just went through. Okay, insert from drawings, select, save, and then we can test it. That'll pop everything open, and we should have it on the menu, and it should open up. Oh, it'll ask us for permissions about accessing our drive and looking at our files. And yes, since it's my code, I trust it. I've gone through the code. Cannot find function set with in. So there's a bug, something I forgot when we were moving this over. When we create template from file, the first thing you have to do is actually call a method evaluate. And what that does is it basically renders that little bit of templating that we put in here. Right, these little templating tags. I made a video about the HTML templating that Google Apps Script uses, so you can check that out. But you got to run evaluate before that's going to work. So go ahead and save that. You should be able to test it again. Insert from drawings. Start. Reset the size down, and you can click on select file, and it gives you that file picker. All right, perfect. That's pretty much what we want, except we've got to make a few more changes and actually figure out how to code out our insert from drawings tool itself. So I'm going to actually break that off into part 2.